Hello everybody, what's up? In this video we are going to look at the solution of problem C from Codeforces dip to round 670. It is called link cut centroids. Yep. So what's been mentioned in this problem is we have been given a tree, and they have mentioned the definition of a centroid. A vertex is a centroid of a tree only when you cut this vertex, that is, remove it and remove all of its connected edges. The size of the largest component after remaining that vertex would be the smallest possible. So during the contest I searched this centroid of a tree. I found out that if the centroid of a tree has two main properties, that is, if we delete that vertex, that then we would be having a tree forest. In that tree forest we can have any number of components ranging from 1 to n minus 1. If I am not wrong, we would be having only one component when we have only, suppose we are deleting a vertex from a tree. So if we delete the leaf itself, after deleting the leaf, the number of components would remain the same, that is equal to 1, and then the maximum number of components we can have after deleting one vertex would be equal to n minus 1. Suppose this is our tree and we are deleting this middle vertex. So after deleting this, we would be having n minus 1 number of components in our tree forest. So this is the range of number of components we could have after deleting any vertex from our node. So what centroid is, if we delete a vertex, then all of its subtrees, suppose after deleting a vertex which is the centroid, then we would be having suppose we are having m number of components after deleting that vertex which is a subtree. So all of those components then can only have at most n by 2 nodes, that is less than equal to. So all the components would be having at most n by 2 nodes if we delete the vertex which is the centroid. And if we analyze it, then there can be at most 2 centroids in our tree, and yes, and we would always be having at least one centroid. And yes, my solution was mainly based on this property, and I would be explaining my intuition behind it. Let's read the problem statement. So we have been given a centroid. It says in this example you can see the centroid can be 2. So if we delete 2, then largest component size remaining would be graph is be 2 and it cannot be smaller. If we delete 2, the largest component size would be 2, that is 1 3, the tree forest 1 and 3. In this diagram we are having two centroids. Let's just draw this structure real quick. Yes, so in this we are having two centroids, this one and this one. So if we delete this, then the number of components, the largest number of nodes in any component would be equal to 3, which would be this one. And if we delete this node, then the largest number of nodes in the component would be 3, which is this one. If we delete any other node except these two, then we are sure that at least in one component we would be having more than n by 2 nodes, and that would not be our centroid. We can have either one centroid or two centroids. And there is also one another property. If we are having two centroids in our tree, then they must be adjacent. These must be connected. If we are having two centroids, then suppose this v1 and v2 are the centroids, then there must be an edge between them. And why should we have this edge between them? Yes, I'll come to this. Let's read the remaining part. So he should cut one edge of the tree, and after that he should add one edge. such that after performing this operation, the tree would be having only would only be having a unique centroid. So yes, as we can have at most two centroids, so after deleting one edge and adding some another edge, that edge can be the same which we deleted earlier. So after doing that operation, we should make sure that our tree is having unique centroid. We need to output those two edges which we are deleting and adding. And suppose we are only having one centroid in our tree. I think this was the example where this node here is our centroid and it is a unique one. As if we delete this node, the maximum number of nodes we would be having in any component is equal to 2, and it is less than equal to 5 by 2. Otherwise it will be greater than n by 2. So if we are only having one centroid, so we are sure that this is unique, then we do not need to perform any operation, but just to show the output, what we can simply do is we can delete any edge from our n-1 given edges, and then delete it and then add the same edge. Delete and add the same edge if we are having only one centroid. So this is for the case when we are holding one centroid. And suppose if we are having two centroids, as I've said, that then in that case what those centroids would be having a common edge. And yes, let's go to the intuition part, which what I was talking about. See, during the contest I came up with this intuition. It might turn out to be wrong, so please let me know in the comment section if it is wrong, but the intuition might be wrong, but the statement is correct, as I have seen many blogs on the internet. Not many, I have seen three or four blogs. They have also mentioned that we can have at most two centroids, and if we are having two centroids, then there must be an edge between them. So what I thought about this problem statement, or this statement is, suppose we are having any tree. So what we can do, we can pick two nodes from these n nodes, and we should be picking the endpoints of the largest path we can have on the longest path we can have in our tree, that is the diameter. So we would be picking the endpoints of our diameter present in our tree, and we will try to pull those two nodes in the opposite direction. So in this case our diameter would be this. So we would be picking this node and this node. We will try to stretch it. So after stretching, this tree will look something like yeah, if I'm not wrong, yeah, then these were the two nodes. We are stretching this red one in this right direction and this red one in this direction, so our tree will look something like this. So as I've said, the property of centroid is, if we delete that node, then we would be having multiple number of components after deleting, that is tree forest, and in each of those components the number of nodes would be less than equal to n by 2. Maximum number of yes, in all of those components. So yes, let's see that now. If we have stretched our tree in this format, and then suppose we are having a tree something like this, so we have stretched it, so it would be looking something like this. So this is the first starting point when we are going from left to right, and this is the last point. So if we go from left to right, we would be seeing at this point, at the left of this line, this vertical line, we are having 0 number of nodes, and after at the left of this line we are having one node, and at the left of on the left side of this line we are having 4 nodes. So the number of nodes will keep on increasing, and after this, the last node, the number of nodes we have seen would be n. Suppose there is some line here. We see that even at this line, the number of nodes is less than n by 2. That is, on the left part, we have only seen lesser than n by 2 number of nodes. So it will make sure that none of the nodes present on this section can be our centroid, because let's say we are deleting any vertex from this section, then this component, this is only one component and it is having more than n by 2 nodes, so it won't be this won't be our centroid. So this section cannot have our centroid. Similarly, if we go from right to left, and suppose there is some line here, and if we see that in this section we are having less than n by 2 number of nodes, so it also means that in this section, that is to the right of this green line, our centroid cannot be present in this region, because if we delete any node from this region, then we know that in this region, which is on the left of this green line, there is one component which is having number of nodes greater than n by 2. As this is n by 2, and so this must be greater than n by 2. Okay, so if we keep on going in our tree, what my intuition was, there can only be one point where the number of nodes here is less than n by 2, and after reaching this point, suppose we have a node here, then the number of nodes will become greater than n by 2. In that case, our centroid would be this one, the node present at this, because on the left of this we are having lesser than n by 2 nodes, so we cannot have our centroid in this region. Similarly, we cannot have our centroid at this region, as here the number of nodes are greater than n by 2. So in this case, our centroid can only be this. But there can also be case when we are having two centroids. That would be case, suppose when we have come to the point when we are going from left to right or right to left. At this point, if we see, the number of nodes is equal to n by 2, and here also the number of nodes is equal to n by 2, that is including these two nodes. So if we are having such a scenario, in that case these two nodes would be our centroid, because if we delete this node, then this component would be having exactly n by 2 nodes, and we are sure that this would be having lesser than n by 2 nodes. And again, if we delete this node, then if we delete this node, then this component would be having n by 2 number of nodes, which satisfies the property of centroid, and this would also be having lesser than n by 2 nodes. And yes, these must be, then these two nodes must be having a adjacent edge between them. And also in this case, when we are having two centroids, it also means that the centroids cannot be leaf node, or the degree of these centroids should be greater than 1, because if the degree of the centroids is 1, then it must be a leaf node, and leaf node cannot be a centroid. If we are having only in the case when n is equal to 2, in that case I think we can have our number of in that case leaf can be our centroid. But yes, here n is greater than equal to 3 in our case, so we do not need to think about that case. So yes, these were the two cases. Let's see what I've done. So if we are having only unique centroid, that is only one centroid, let's say this is the centroid, then in that case what I am doing is I'm just deleting any edge among the I picked any edge from my n-1 edges, and I deleted it, and after deleting it I added the same edge. As we do not need to do anything different here, we are having unique number of we are having unique centroid in this case. So the other case can only be when we are having two centroids, and in that case this part would be having n minus n by 2 nodes, and this part would be having n by 2 nodes. Again, this is my intuition. It might turn out to be wrong. Please let me know in the comment section if you find any proof. But I used this intuition and it worked out for me. My code got accepted. So in this case, what I have done is, or what I did was, I'm sure that my centroids are having degree greater than 1. So 1 degree is used by this common node itself. So what I am doing is, suppose my two centroids are C1 and C2, then what I simply did was I picked C2 and then chose any edge from these other edges, which is not the adjacent edge. I chose any one edge and I deleted it, and after deleting it I attached this subtree to my C1. Then in that case C1 will be my new centroid, then C2 will not be centroid. And why is it so? Because initially this part was having n by 2 nodes, and this was also having n by 2 nodes. So even if this subtree, which the edge which I am deleting, is containing only one node, then after doing this process this part would be having n by 2 plus nodes, and this would be having n by 2 minus 1 nodes. So then if I delete C2 after doing this, then this part is having n by 2 plus 1 node, so C2 cannot be our new centroid. But if we delete C1, then we would be seeing that all the components are having lesser than equal to n by 2 nodes. Then C1 will turn out to be our new centroid. So yes, when we are having two centroids, what I've simply done is I picked one edge which is not the common edge between C1 and C2, and I've deleted that edge from C2 and attached the subtree which was attached to the edge which I am deleting. I picked that subtree, root of that subtree, and attached it to C1. Then my C1 will turn out to be the new centroid. So it will make sure that we are having a unique centroid. So this is the case when we are having two centroid, and when we are having only one centroid, and I do not need to do anything. Now let's see what I have done to find out what are the nodes which are our centroid. So I have used I performed a DFS function, and in that DFS I found out the height of all the nodes. Suppose this height of u will represent the height of subtree rooted at u. So height of I represents the height of tree rooted at I. So it will only tell the number of nodes where I is the root. So if I am finding out my height value for this v, it will be 3. So I have found out the height for all the nodes. Okay, this I have done using my DFS function. After doing this, what I have done is, for each of the nodes in my tree, I check whether one of its child subtree, one of the subtrees which is rooted at it's one of its child. That is, if for this root I am checking whether this subtree is having nodes more than n by 2. If it is having more than n by 2 number of nodes, I am sure that this cannot be my centroid. And if this is having lesser than equal to n by 2 nodes, then I check the subtree rooted at its some other child. Then I check for this subtree. I check whether this is having lesser than equal to n by 2 nodes or not. So I check all the children subtree, and also I need to check the subtree which is on the above side, that is on the ancestor part, let's see. So if I'm considering this node, we should check the size of this subtree, and this subtree also we should be checking the size of this subtree. But how can we find out the size of this subtree? As we know that the total number of nodes in our tree is equal to n, and we know the size of this subtree. Let's say this node is v, so what we can simply do is n minus height of v. Then n minus height size, sorry, not the height, I've used the size. Please change the definition. This is the size, this is not the height. It will tell me the number of nodes on that subtree, not the height. I explained it incorrectly. So size, so it would be n minus the size of this tree rooted at v. If I see this is greater than n by 2, then this cannot be my centroid. Simply I can find out the size of this component by doing n minus size of v if this is v. I check whether if all the components are having lesser than equal to n by 2 nodes, then I should it should tell me that this node, the current node, is my centroid. So I check all the children subtree, and I check the subtree which is above the current node, which contains its parent. Okay, so I check all of them. If none of them is having greater than n by 2 nodes, then it is a centroid. Okay, yeah, let's move to the code part now. So yes, I've taken the input. I've used the adjacency list to store my tree. Now C1 and C2, I'm using them as global variables that are the centroids I can have, as I can have at most 2 centroids, so I am initializing them by -1. Then I have called my DFS function, which will find out the size of each of the subtrees. Find out the size, yes, I have initialized it to h, as during the contest as well I was using height. So this size is represent the current node. Then I found out the size of all of its children. If the children is not parent, then I call the DFS function on its children and find out the size of its children, added it to the current size, and at the end the size of current node would be equal to h. So in this DFS I find out the size of all the subtrees, that is size I equal to size of subtree rooted at I. And then I call my check function. The check function basically helps me to find out the centroids I am having in my tree. I've initialized this f equal to flag. So if after all of my processing I see that f is still 1, it means this current node is my centroid. And what I'm doing is, well, I do not need to find out this sum child. I did it during the contest. I can simply do is size u, what I explained in the sketchpad. But yes, let's understand this code. What I am doing is sum child. I'm finding out total number of nodes present on its children subtrees. For example, the sum child will contain the sum of all these nodes for this one. For sum, that is the total number of nodes I'm having in all these subtrees. So yes, if it is not the parent, I've called this function. I'm checking the size of that component. If the size is greater than n by 2, then this node, that is u, cannot be my centroid. So I'm changing the value of f from 1 to 0. And if yes, I'm at the end, I'm also adding the number of nodes on that component to my sum child. And yes, I need to check the upper part as well, that is this green part, this red part. If I'm considering this node, to check this I'm just doing n minus, this can be size of u. this part here just can be size of u, or you can do some child plus 1. If I'm seeing that this is equal to n by 2, even then this cannot be my centroid. And even then after checking all these things, if I see f is still 1, then this would be my centroid. If I see that c1 is equal to -1, it means I at this point I still haven't found the first centroid. I'm setting up my first centroid, otherwise my first centroid has been found, so I'm updating the second centroid. And yes, then I'm doing the same processing to its children. So yes, after calling this check function, I found out my centroids. If I'm having only one centroid, it is stored at c1. Otherwise, if I'm having two centroids, they are stored in c1 and c2. If I see that c2 is equal to -1, it means I'm only having one centroid, and I do not need to do anything. I'm just performing deletion and addition of the same edge. I can pick any edge in this case. Otherwise, if this is the case, then I'm having two centroids. Then what I'm doing is I'm picking edge which is not the adjacent one between c1 and c2. I'm picking one edge from c1, and then I'm deleting that edge from c1 and attaching it to c2. Then what it will do is it will make c2 as my new unique centroid. Okay, and yes, that's all. This is for the solution. That's all for the solution part. Yes, this again turned out to be a pretty long video. Yes, that's how it goes. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, then please like this video, share this with your friends, and consider subscribing to our channel. In the next two videos, I would be coming up with the solutions of B and A from this contest. Okay, till then, happy coding, sayonara.